Oh, hello there! Kevin Carpenter here with another exciting City of Mist video. This is another casual one, non-scripted, because the topic is very casual and non-scripted, and it's coming up with a danger on the fly. Now, if you've run a tabletop RPG before, you've been in this situation. You have the story all planned out when your crew decides to go off the beaten path and go to a location that you had no preparation for. Now you not only need to think, alright, what are they going to do next, but also, what are the people and monsters there that are going to get in their way? In this case, you need to be able to come up with something or pull something out of the book as quick as you can while you're also improvising the session. Thankfully, City of Mist makes this incredibly easy to do. And I'm going to give you a few tips on how to create these dangers like that. First thing to keep in mind, what situation is this danger coming into? In City of Mist, dangers aren't just stat blocks for combat that you can throw into whatever situation. They're built for the narrative that they're in. So if you've got, let's say, a corporate lawyer danger, they're going to have moves for tangling the crew up in red tape, because if you're introducing a corporate lawyer into your noir investigation story, more than likely they're working for the bad guys. You're also not going to put a lot of moves for the corporate lawyer, like punching one of the crew members, because that's not what they're there for. So now let's get into the danger itself. And with this, I'm going to go to the City of Mist Discord and ask for some suggestions. Let's start. Alright, so we got goats on the brain in the Discord today, so for this danger we're going to go with the Krampus. For those of you who don't know, the Krampus is sort of like the anti-Santa, a monstrous holiday spirit that breaks into people's houses and steals away all the naughty children by throwing them in his bag, and then he turns their bones into pudding or makes them coal miners? I don't know, the legend's kind of different what he does to the kidnapped children. In any case, the Krampus is a monster that should not be messed with. So, if we're going to make the Krampus a danger, then that means that we need to put him in a situation where he's either breaking into people's houses, or the crew is trying to take something from him, something like that. And we're also going to need to give him powers for not only like sneaking around, but also turning into a monstrous figure, because, you know, look at the Krampus. Look at this public domain picture of the Krampus. These things are horrifying. The second thing to keep in mind in City of Mist is that once you have your mythos or your mythology figured out, you need to figure out how it fits within the city, because very rarely are goblins in the City of Mist just goblins. They're usually people who are drawing upon the mythos. So with the Krampus, which is a monster that breaks into people's houses, I'm instinctively thinking of a larcenist, someone who breaks into people's houses and steals their stuff all the time, or perhaps, if we want to go really dark, a serial child kidnapper to stay as true to the mythos as possible. So let's make the Krampus a curmudgeonly old man who most people just kind of believe is just that curmudgeon neighbor and they leave alone, but every so often around the holidays decides to just go out onto a spree of, well, chaos. So now we have the concept for our danger, and we also sort of know the situation we're throwing them in. They're a suspect that the crew would more than likely be investigating and then more than likely fighting. But in the middle of a session, you don't necessarily have the time to, crunch all the numbers and write out all the description. You want something that you can easily just put two and two together. Oh, wait, we can do that. In the City of Mist MC Toolkit, there's a variety of danger profiles that you can use for a lot of different occasions, and each of the danger profiles are built around archetypes that you are more than likely going to encounter in a noir investigation kind of story. But what's great about the MC Toolkit is not only are there danger profiles for mundane dangers, but there's also danger profiles for mythical dangers, specifically ones that you can add to a mundane danger in order to make them that rift danger that you need. So for the mundane danger profile, I'm thinking we go with the troubled individual. Most of the time this is for like a suicidal teenager or someone who fell out of stardom. Of course there isn't a curmudgeonly old man archetype in the MC Toolkit, but I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it would be much more interesting if this old person had amnesia whenever they turned into the Krampus. Like they didn't know that they were, doing all these horrible things and kidnapping children in the night. So especially the things in the troubled individual danger profile of a mysterious past, which hampers the investigation whenever the crew try to look into them, which in and of itself is its own clue. They also disappear at the least convenient time, which is, of course, the moment they would like turn into the Krampus and go about their rampage. And then the final soft move, which definitely goes to foreshadow that some weird stuff is going to happen, warn the crew that something bad is about to happen. So with this mundane profile, we already have someone who's at their home, definitely troubled, and are giving clues and foreshadowing towards something that's going on without giving away the main twist in and of itself. Now we need the mythical danger profile to mix with this one. Now, starting on page 152 are the Mythos power sets. I said this earlier, but these are the little stat blocks that you can add to any danger profile to make them a rift danger. So, for the Krampus here, we want something that, like, when he goes into beast mode, he is a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to take the Beast power set. Now, this includes a Thick Hide Wild Nature custom move, a status filter that reduces physical statuses by 1, so that way they can last longer in the fight. They've also got acute senses, so that way they can find all the children hiding under their beds or in their closet, and also an attack for clawing, biting, or mauling, and that gives a tier 3 status. Now, speaking of statuses, here's another tip for creating dangers on the fly. Whatever your main attack status is, that should also correlate to the tier in their spectrum that would take it down. That's a complicated way of saying that what they dish out, they should also be able to take. So in this case, if the Krampus's main attack is dealing a tier 3 status, then it makes sense for their spectrums to also be in the tier 3 range. So in this instance, let's make the hurt or subdue spectrum for the Krampus a 3. Now we can stick with these powers, or we can add on even more power sets to this danger to make them even more powerful. So, with the Krampus, let's give him something that can also like sneak in and out and, get out of the way in time if the crew ever try to catch him. So I want to go with the Hunter. The Hunter gives Hunter instincts, so whenever they enter the scene, they get alert 3, which makes them even more perceptive, and also can't escape, which is, whenever someone's trying to run away, they trap the people and then give them a crippled 2 or trap 2 status. So this is a danger that can easily turn a situation where the crew is chasing them into the danger chasing the crew. In fact, you could even make this like a Friday the 13th style situation where the crew is being picked off one by one by a Krampus sneaking around in the woods. I don't know, there's a lot of ideas. Like I said, we're making this on the fly. So one thing to keep in mind with all these Mythos power sets is that right next to their title, they'll usually have stars right next to them. These stars correlate to how dangerous a danger is in City of Mist, usually going on a scale from 1 to 6. This is, just something to keep in mind whenever you're creating these dangers on the fly, so that way you're not, throwing an epic god-level threat at your beginner-level crew. Now, this is of course a narrative game, difficulty is going to be relative to the situation, yada yada blah blah blah, but like I said, it's a good rule of thumb. So, we have our mundane danger with the Mythos power sets, which I believe would put him at 3 stars now, taking the Troubled Individual, plus the Beast power set, plus the Hunter power set. Alright, so we've got our concept, we've got our abilities, and we've got a general idea of how difficult this danger is going to be. Let's write everything up now. And now it's complete. A Krampus danger profile, just in time for the holidays. This would be a great danger to throw at a crew for a holiday session, so that way they can investigate it, chase after it, maybe even get into a superpowered fight. But just remember that not all of your dangers have to be mythical monsters with superpowers. Sometimes a danger is a speeding car, sometimes a danger is a burning building. As long as you can think, what is this danger, what's the situation they're in, and how are they keeping the crew from what they want to do, and also what will happen if the crew don't get out of their way, you have a danger. Now, I know we're all busy these days, and sometimes, you can't even create a danger on the fly, and that's perfectly fine. There's a full list of dangers in the City of Mist MC Toolkit, as well as the expansion Shadows and Showdowns. There's also a ton of different districts and adventures in Knights of Paintown that have their own dangers in them, that you can also pull from those campaigns and put into your own. Basically, we're saying that the City of Mist is an incredibly dangerous place, with no shortage of dangers to throw at your crew. We hope you had fun with this incredibly eclectic and all over the place video. I know I did. Until next time, let us know what you think about this video in the comments, on social media, or on the City of Mist Discord. Until then, have fun!